Hello everyone. In this tutorial, we will see how to convert a column or multiple columns or a row of a data frame, a Pandas data frame, into a list of one dimension or a multiple dimensional list, and also how to do the vice versa. And this procedure will be, as you will see, quite simple but useful depending on what is your task and what the task of your script is, and with what file format you are interested to work with. So let me just start by importing pandas as PD, which we will use because we are starting our script by importing a set of data actually that will be used throughout the example. So this set of data is found, at least on my computer, at the URL this one, but of course this is up to you. And then I will use pandas in order to read these set of data. By the way, the set of data that I'm talking about is this one. And it basically contains, I think it contains information about the people that smoke. And they have been collected based on the year and on the state of collection. And there are then other categories that I'm not really interested into, like smoke some days. I think that the number of people that smoke some days, former smokers, and so on. But this is not important at all. So as the thing that you have to notice is that each category is separated from the next one by a comma, and this is important, and you have to keep it in your mind when you are importing these basically CSV file. So I will call the file in which I want to import this set of data doc. And I will use the pandas function read CSV, in which I will type as input parameter the path to the file, which is URL, not as a string, but as a variable. And then I can also type in the separator that is used in the original file. And as we saw, it was a comma. Perfect. Then after that, I want to create a data frame containing all this information. Data frame, so I will call it df. And there's a specific function in Pandas, which is called DataFrame, again, in which I will just have to type as input parameters the document, the file that I want to import, which is doc. So now, just to give you an idea, if I import DataFrame, if I print DataFrame df dot, I will use df dot head in order to print just the first part of the file. This is the file imported as a pandas data frame. So it is subdivided into different columns and into different rows, which are indexed by numbers. Perfect. From this data frame, we want to take a column and convert it into a list. So to do that, so let me just comment this step, convert a column of the df into a list. So to do that, I mean, the procedure is really simple actually. The variable in which we will store the variable corresponding to this new list will be called new list. And to do this, we have to access the specific column we are interested in into the data frame. So we use this notation, df, square brackets, and normal brackets, and we are interested into the column defined by the either state. And once we have access to this column of the data frame, we type values, which is a function that access to all the values of this column, and then we use the function toList in order to convert all these values into elements of a list. Perfect. Now we are almost done. If I print the variable new list, you will see the list that I just created, and it's a list whose elements corresponds to all the elements that can be found into the data frame. Perfect. Now let's suppose we are interested in converting more columns, so a subset of the data frame, into a list. Of course, in this case, it will be a multi-dimensional list. So convert multiple columns into a list. Multiple columns of the DF into a list. So first, I mean, the procedure will be quite similar because we have to use the same two functions, values and toList. But what changes in this case is how we access the data frame and the subset of the data frame we are interested into. So I will just call again new list, the list that I'm going to create. And in order to access a subset of the data frame, I will use the function lock. And in this function, I will specify the rows which I'm referring to, and I will just use colon in order to say that I'm selecting all the rows of the data frame. And then I can specify with a tuple the two columns that I'm interested in. I will just use year. I will just choose year and again state. And then again, as I told you, values toList. We should be done, I think. Print again, new list. Let's see. And here you can see each element of the list contains the year and the corresponding state. As you can see here, yeah, that's perfect. Okay, and this was the second step of this tutorial. I would say we are perfectly on the map that I was thinking. And okay, let's say now, so we have seen how to convert a column, how to convert multiple columns. What about the rows? Well, it is quite similar again. So convert a row of df into a list. The procedure is similar. We just have to locate a single row of the data frame. Again, we store all the thing into the variable new list. And to refer to the single row, I will again use the function lock. And then let's say we are interested in the fourth row, so the number 3. And then use again values, dot values dot toList. And I think we have accomplished again the task. Let's see, compile. Yes, and we have the fourth row of the data frame, 2002 Virgin Islands, and these are the numbers corresponding to the other details that I showed you before. And this is again the location, which sometimes was equal to the state. So as you might imagine, also if we are interested into multiple rows, the procedure will be quite similar. I'm not showing you here the procedure because it's really similar and it's becoming quite boring also. So what I wanted to show you as the last thing is how to convert um, a list actually back into a data frame. And so let's see, convert a list into df. So this is quite easy, and it's not the main focus of this tutorial, but it's just to show you the opposite procedure. We just created a list, which is called new list, and I'm gonna convert it into a data frame, so which I will call new df. New df will be equal to do this, I will just exploit standard pandas functions. So pd data frame again, which create a data frame. And this time, instead of giving as an input parameter of a file, I will give as an input parameter a list, which is new list, and I will just then print new df, and it should be it. Yes, you can see that it turns out that let me just print the list first, the list, and then data frame. This was the list, and this is the list converted into a data frame. Yes, so that was it. I think this tutorial is done. It was quite simple and very brief. Hope you enjoyed it and hope you can find it useful. Bye and see you in the next one.